to see how that want to try to make things out. I'm more interested to see of the kind of possibility of running out on different variations and going up against each other. I think I've been having a lot of fun watching Overwatch where it's more of a rock, paper, scissors than a straight up mirror.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think the three major compositions that are the meta is really diverse, but the three major compositions really do serve that sort of triangle where you got Wrecking Ball dive that sort of beats out Brawl most of the time. Brawl beats out Bunker or Orisa compositions, and Rush tends to beat out Bunker or Orisa as well. So it is kind of that trifecta that you're talking about. But I do say that the teams that usually have the most success on the ball compositions, I think that the combination of like the Zenyatta Brig backline just makes that composition so powerful, as well as D.Va's prevalence as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens here. Well, we are on Control Center actually, so there's more emphasis on, I would say, like Rush, or if you want to play with like Symmetra Junkrat and stuff like that.
I can't really say you're wrong. Control Center is all about basically control, which is why a lot of these times we see these teams come out and they're more focused on playing into those servers, doing the best that they can. However, some teams go up against that quota and they like to try to play it outside. They like to go directly onto the point, mess around, use that Pharah, and I think Kracked Katz perfectly understand that idea as they're kind of hinting it out. I'm pretty sure they're going to be running out on this. Maybe they won't, but either way, it's still a good idea. It's really hard to go through those server rooms, especially when it's a straight up mirror.
I would be very surprised if I saw the Bastion come out from Snowl. He's definitely one of the better players on this Kracked Katz team. And okay, I was about to say, no, he's coming out on the Tracer, Derpy, and the Pharmacy, Deco, Derpy and Deco on the Pharmacy. While on the side of Celestial Sky, we got the pretty standard Rush with Cassidy, and Tracer as well, actually. No Mei or Torb, so hoping to catch Snowl on some of those Tracer duels, I would assume.
Yep, they're already taking in this big spam attack as Derpy's trying to do their best to be able to find anyone out, though being able to rotate onto the point using the pillar as natural cover. They're able to protect their own shield, and Rat is going down dangerously low, although Dahilin is going to be able to kind of move around, basically be a little bit spacious, try to 1v1 onto the Tracer. The Lucio's doing an amazing job of putting pressure onto the backline, and anybody who is close to the edge, it seems that they're not being able to catch a break as the Cats are slowly being taken out against this brawl. Eventually they are going to be losing their off-tank D.Va, who's there to heal, so Deco, critical, they're not going to get any peel. Losing this fight out, not being able to collapse fast enough.
Yeah, you saw the major game plan of Celestial there was to keep hold up in that server room, not let the Pharah get much damage, only barely getting to the barrage right now. Usually you can build that up in like the middle of that team fight, and then have Creep kind of just coming in and out of that control center the center point right here. Look at Rat's actually position. He's positioned over the control, which is actually going to be really good because the enemy D.Va hasn't been remech'd yet. Is this a potential boop? Almost.
Oh, it was more of a potential barrage. However, we do see the Cassidy's High Noon trying to play against it. Even though Snow's own post bomb gets picking off, everybody else is kind of picking up that slack, especially Critical, able to get that 2k and slowly move forward. Although Creep is going to be demech'd, having to just die, while we see Crunch Time managing to get a bit more time.
Yeah, nice awareness to be able to go for that play, especially when the enemy D.Va hasn't been remech'd yet, definitely. Now they will have the mech back online and double support ultimates to go as well, but this D.Va bomb and this Valkyrie on the enemy team could easily counteract that. It's going to be really on Cinemo to have a good window coming into this.
Yep, look at that, already moving back open into the spot. They managed to use the window to kind of force everybody out. This is more making space, but they're really not being able to find too much with it besides from a little bit of chip damage onto the Pharah. However, Snow going a bit too aggressive, manages to get clipped and is not going to be coming back. Now with Rat being able to just move in, it's a big issue that they're not being able to protect their support line. Eventually Derpy's going to fall because of that. Now the rest of the team who are stuck playing onto the point aren't going to be getting any peel and they fall.
Yeah, and what's even better is that you manage to keep the beat throughout that team fight, so you'll have it in response to either the mines or the barrage or whichever else you really want to use it for. Definitely one of the more powerful support ultimates going into this, and it's gonna be really. Ooh, critical goes down super early on. I think they have to just back up a little bit.
I
The res
definitely had.
actually? Oh no, he gets caught out.
Yeah, even then, it was still dangerous. The mines, though, trying to split them up from touching back onto the point doesn't really do anything. Doesn't even give them a kill, as they have to use that barrage outside of the point that eventually gets them punished. Critical is able to get a trade and manage to find a pick, but the vast majority of their team is still caught back inside their spawn room coming back. Even the Shatter being used onto the hill and trying to get somebody, but it manages to just use that charge, finish off Critical. Deco getting picked off by Crunch Time. The rest of them are now stuck in this staggered position.
Yeah, and I think Dion is going to be able to touch the points here. Deadeye in response actually gets canceled out. Window will be able to help him dish out that damage that the Peacekeeper is capable of doing. And Window in response to Critical, I don't know if they're going to find enough value out of it, especially with the fact that Deco is going down. Pulse Bomb almost catches out Zafin on the Cassidy, and this is still very much Celestial's fight to win, but Creep does manage to get D-Mech. Mines on point potentially could do some damage as well, but yeah, it was solely in control of Celestial Sky right there, and I really do think it was, them being in control that entire time with, you know, Kracked Katz attempting to go in, even though they had, one of their supports was dead at the beginning of that team fight.
Yeah, I definitely gotta say, just Celestial Sky, their composition worked very well. A lot less of collapsing, but how do you feel about it, and how do you feel that they're both gonna be on somewhat of a similar mirror, though very fundamentally different, onto Gardens?
I think Celestial was doing a great job of keeping, just, bunkered around each other for that rush composition. But now moving on to this Wrecking Ball composition, it's a lot of the opposite. It's going to be on owners to really go out on his own and, uh, you know, not depend as much on his supports as if they were just on the Reinhardt here. Also, the fact that Snell is on Reaper, that's interesting to say the least, because you're not going to get much value out of, trying to shoot, echoes out of the sky or anything like that. It's really, I mean, potentially you could be burning down the Wrecking Ball faster, but Wrecking Ball's such a fast character, he could just go in and out, so it's interesting to see why he made that decision. I'm struggling to figure it out myself.
Yeah, we're already seeing the fight kind of commence as they're taking it outside, being able to find out Creep's own mech. Gonna be harder to try to just save this spot, especially without being able to fully capture it. Though Owners wants to put this more inside their favor, able to find out Critical now even trades on both sides, and yet it's still going over to Celestial Sky, being able to just capture that, find the picks. The Fire Mercy's still high in the sky, but they have to retreat if they want to be able to regroup with their own team.
Yeah, that was really interesting. You have Derpy kind of pummeling in damage from afar, not really too contested by Crunch Time on the Echo, and Snuff actually does a decent amount of damage, DMX the Diva in that fight, but now quickly back into it. They're not going to be able to capture the point here, and the rally comes in from MPG.
Yep, they're looking to just be able to pump in that damage, able to find out not only Owners, but now they have that room to be able to start moving in. Though that Transcendence is going to delay the time of Derby using that barrage, Snell's able to make up for it by finding out the Tracer. Now using that barrage directly in front of the Diva is not the best thing that you can do, as you're going to be able to lose your life from it. Snell makes the even worse decision of trying to Death Blossom in front of that Brigida, gets canceled out, but Derpy doesn't really need anything besides their own mobility and rockets to take you out, managing to get those picks. Though the stall is on the point and Owners is gone, they're at least going to be able to capture this point around 60 seconds.
Yeah, and you kept mines throughout that engagement, which is a big boon, especially since you used most of the other ultimates. Meanwhile, on the side of Celestial, you have double DPS ultimate. This Echo could potentially do some insane damage, especially given the fact that, you have a Reaper to copy, which is like an insta death blossom if you're able to use it correctly. So a lot of options for Crunch Time as they go in here.
Yeah,
they're gonna copy the Diva.
They are going to get that early copy onto the D.Va crunch time, wanting to try to build that bomb. Unfortunately enough, they're going to be caught out, and now they have to try to bring this back, especially since Derpy's able to not only find out crunch time, but eventually on PG is going to be traded in. The mines are on the point from Rats, and Snow's just being able to capture anybody who comes into that small death trap. It's looking a little bit unfortunate, especially with Cinemo gone, though only 40 seconds gone.
Yeah, and what Snow's doing on the Reaper here is actually more of just like putting pressure on the tanks more than anybody else. Derpy's obviously putting pressure on the back line, but Snow's really just there kind of playing around a Dion on the D.Va, and he's just making Creep's job very difficult trying to contest point, which is really Creep's main objective here. He's the only one that can really do that. But Owners does have mines, never mind. He's gonna get barrage before he can use it.
Gonna lose their life, and it seems Creep wants to find somebody, and Revenge isn't really able to in that window used so far back, basically taking up the entirety of the point in a retrospective type of idea. It seems that MPG wants to use that rally, say no, you don't have any opportunity to win this fight. They even get critical off of it, which is looking pretty good. Now the fight being this unstable, the room Owners puts it in their favor by placing the mines. The Reaper in an unfavorable spot uses that Blossom just to be able to break the majority of it, still gets booped into it by the D.Va, and it seems that they are not going to be able to secure that victory, as on 99% is going to flip back to Celestial, and well, they have to be game changing now.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Snow is gonna make the swap here. I mean, Reaper's gonna be so difficult to push in with. Yeah, he swaps over to the Cassidy, which will be able to help stop the onslaught from Zafin and crunch time as well. Mines available for Rat finally could make for a nice engagement tool to try to, you know, force the defenders off the control point, and that looks like what he's doing. But Derpy gets caught out by Cinemo.
Oh, it's gonna be a little bit more hurtful. You kind of need that Pharah. Though the mines are gonna be splitting off, that Brigida now struggling is able to just barely make it through, and now they're gonna be finding it out. However, Snell is looking for those headshots, more of the body shots they're gonna be able to obtain, while crunch time being in that copy is looking to use that high noon to find as much as you can, but it's basically a dud. Now with Derpy's own return, they're gonna be able to put in a lot of damage, looking for as much as they can. They throw that bomb far out, and the Brigida able to shield, even use that rally as a form to come back. They are still struggling to really get much out of this. They do use that Transcendence from Cinemo just to try to make any type of difference. And Derpy's throwing that barrage inside of it, though getting canceled out. They are able to survive, while Snow's using the high noon, finishes off Owner, gets the recap. The support line may be up, but they are not going to be able to do anything, as the Katz, they managed to bring us to the last point.
I wonder if that map would have ended any differently if Snell had just stayed on the Cassidy in the entire time. It did take a while for Celestial to adjust to the Reaper, and it did get them to that 99% mark, but I don't know. Weird. It's weird. But, you know, Snell looks like he'll probably continue on the Cassidy for now. I doubt he'll pull out the Reaper on, you know, Night Market here. While looks like Celestial's keeping much of the same with the Echo. I do think Crunch Time's copies could have been a bit better utilized, especially that last copy on Cassidy didn't really do much. But, oh, Symmetra actually here for the, oh, okay, just to TP out of spawn, actually.
Well, it works out. They at least get to point a little bit faster, and I've got to say, make sure that you are picking or noticing a player that you think are the MVP. You can go down to the Twitch summary or kind of description. You're going to be able to vote and pick who you want to come into the interview. Could be the winners or losers, but it seems that the true winners are going to be the side of the Cats, as they're the ones being able to pump in a bit more damage, though the control is still in favor of Crystal Skies. Lose out Cinema, which does hurt. They're not even able to kind of cap this point either, as we see the rest of the Cats start collapsing on top. Derpy does get traded out in the long term, but this is a fight that's on the point, and that boot manages to hit the Brigida and Creep. They manage to just stay alive, but that point no longer in their side, meaning that they are just stalling for time and a regroup of a fight. Somehow this Brigida able to just barely live, but oh no, Cinema! Praying for a god to come save them, but there is none in Overwatch besides from Refused, as we see the rest of the team fighting directly onto this point, getting that boop. The Brigida no longer able to escape, does get booped off, and it just seems Crystal Sky, though Creep is able to find out. Snell they are not really able to kind of push in, and we're gonna see kind of this messy fight now begin as we see the Wrecking Ball kind of move out looking for just any boops, anyone who's kind of caught off guard, while just the rest of the team on the side of the Cats are struggling to be able to move out, though Creep being able to find out critical, and yet crunch time kind of evens that out. The Mind's now invested, wanting to do as much as they can. Same with
Oh
Snell
my
using the high
goodness.
noon. What a long and messy fight that Snell is able to kind of clean up. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, as that entire fight gave them 50%.
Gotta give a lot of credit to Creep and Crunch Time keeping the kills coming in and giving Celestial, a chance to come back into that fight, but ultimately it just ends when Snell decides to hit his shots. Kind of happens when, you have such a strong hit scan hero on the board, is able to, catch out those, enemies. And now, Derpy, you got Barrage, you got Valkyrie, you got Window, you got so many ultimates on the side of Kracked Katz here to be able to defend at this point. It's going to be so difficult, but the rally is available. Crunch time goes down, and that's not a good sign.
Oh, it's not. They're able to escape the pulse bomb's range on the side of critical, and Derpy's getting so much room to be able to take them out, and even uses that barrage just to say, hey, I can flex on you. Unfortunately enough, there is nobody that's going to be able to touch this point, not even Crunch Time, who was able to get that respawn here. So, in the more fortunate side, we're going to be seeing Kracked Katz. They're going to be taking Lijiang Tower. It's still close, but they looked a lot better on that last map.
Like we said at the beginning, a lot of the time these Wrecking Ball compositions, well, to be fair, actually, no, sorry, the Rush did beat, Kracked Katz on the Wrecking Ball and the first very map, but that was on Control Center. You expect Rush to be favored there. When switching over to the Wrecking Ball mirror, it looks firmly in Kracked Katz' sort of favor, but, it looks like it was in Kracked Katz' favor for those last two maps.
Yeah, and I definitely think a big part of that is just that Snell was getting a lot of value that I think you're supposed to be getting on Cassidy. I always say, I'm not expecting it, but it's a DPS player. That's your job. If you're not doing it, then I think that's a bigger issue down the line.
Do want to give a lot of credit to Crunch Time, though. I think he was doing an okay job on the Echo as well. But, rock, paper, scissors, hit scan beats, projectile most of the time, especially in the current meta we have here in Overwatch right now.
You say meta, I say Kuda Matata. I don't really think there's anything that they're kind of forced to play.
With
I think
the
it's just more
Lion King reference?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, you're on another level today.
Exactly. You don't see the Superman shirt. I'm rocking the
Okay.
man power. All right. Although they, super they. That can be important too. Being inclusive here. It's still going to be more curious because now we get that opportunity of not only a map ban, but a map pick. And especially in this map pool, that means you can basically pick anything, kind of ranging from, if I remember correctly, all the way from Blizzard World, Icon Vault, all the going straight down to like Watchpoint Gibraltar, Temple of Anubis, Rialto, Oasis. There's so many kind of options that you have, and I always feel that you can play mind games if you ban a map, because you can just ban one of your weaker maps, and then they can't pick it, even if it's their strongest.
Yeah, right now Kracked Katz has the opportunity to ban a map. We're still waiting on a decision from them. Once they ban a map, Celestial will be able to pick the next map, as long as it is not a control map that is in the map pool that we currently have. So their options are pretty much going to be Hanamura, Anubis, Volskaya, Rialto, Gibraltar for Escort, and then Hybrid, Eichenwald, King's Row, and Blizz World. And given that Celestial might feel more comfortable playing the Rush, depending on what we saw in map number 1, you could potentially go to somewhere like King's Row, or Hanamura, or even Eichenwald, if you wanted to. But as long as those ones aren't banned, obviously.
Yeah, that's the self-explanatory part. However, it seems that they're more focused on taking out these dive maps. Gibraltar is going to be the one that's absolutely kicked out of the arena. We're not going to be seeing that played for the rest of the series, and honestly, that hurts me a little. It's definitely one of my more favorite maps.
Yeah, no love for the monkey.
Yeah, at least we
Come
get to
on,
go
guys.
over to my favorite 2CP map, Volskaya Industries, the one that I will die saying is the better of every 2CP map.
And I can respect that opinion. I think that Apolskaya is definitely a top two assault map. Um, and this is a map that, once again, you have the potential to play Brawl. So this might be sort of the game plan here as well coming into this, especially on first point. I mean, it is a bit open. That first point, you have a bunch of high ground that you do need to clear out. But generally, I mean, as long as you have good coordination with your Lucio speed boosts and the enemy team isn't too, just thinking five-head strategies about their rotations as well, you can use rush on that, especially on defense as well.
You know, you make a very great point. Volskaya Industries, I think very much is all about rushing. It's all about just moving forward, outpacing your team, which is why I feel it's one of those more favorable opportunities that you can just push in, and I think that can work well. You can try and play and slow things down with that double shield, but more often than not, I think those compositions that like really like to run in and just like supersonic speed in your face, they do much better.
Yeah, it really does depend. You do see a lot of spam options as well coming though on this map as well. I think Torbjorn and Echo and Farah are all very relevant on this map too, especially on first point. It really is sometimes it could be a struggle for the Brawl teams if they want to go through like the left side or the right side, or even going behind Mega to try to go through like that big old staircase that's just behind first point.
Yeah.
But generally, you have enough cover if you're playing Brawl to be able to get to point pretty easily.
Something I want to be seeing though. I want to be a little bit more honest with you. All right, my good man Rudy. I want to see the treehouse strategy back from like Overwatch League, back on like Temple of Anubis, where you just play that Symmetra and you teleport between the high grounds with the Bastion. I think that's an absolutely hilarious thing, but no teams ever want to run it. I guess it's just too cheesy. But with what we're seeing right now on both sides, and well, how do you feel about kind of these even trades going in?
I'm not too surprised. Wrecking Ball is still, and very viable on this map as well. When you're talking about that treehouse strategy, oh god, I played against that one time, and it was the worst I've ever experienced playing Overwatch before in my life. I absolutely hated playing against that composition. Even in ranked, I went up against it once. It was not fun whatsoever.
Yeah.
But kind of a mini one going on here with Snell on the legs, however. So kind of a mini Bastion sort of setup. I mean, no TP, but the legs are kind of substitute that. Won't be nearly as oppressive. While it looks like Celestial is going to keep with this tried and true Sombra Tracer in its place.
Definitely see what you mean. This is one big poke fest, though. Both of them are waiting for an opportunity to catch somebody out. And it seems like Creep is the one that's almost going to be paying that price, getting hit with a lot of damage while the fight takes place inside the back line. It seems that Owners wants to be able to put as much damage in. The Celestial Skies managing to go behind. However, those in the front, like Cinemo, well, they're going to be poked out to oblivion. Even Owners and the rest of the squad not going to be able to do much. That Soldier 76 just getting so much room and so much value.
Yeah, choosing to ignore the Soldier there really does come back to bite them in the butt. I think Snell has 3 or 4 final blows in that team fight, really uncontested. And I think it really has to be either the Sombra's job or like crunch time. Obviously, he's getting a lot of value from, building EMP, but if the rest of his team can't push in, what's the point, 3 minutes left on the time bank. They've got to make a move now.
Only started to begin, especially with crunch time coming close to that EMP. Cinema winning out that 1v1 is going to be able to take Derpy's head and allow their team to move forward without fear of being hacked. Critical, though, building up that Transcendence, meaning that they're going to be having some stability to be able to feel fine, and now being able to find Owners. Well, slowly the point's going to be captured, but they're just barely not going to get that first tick. The EMP comes up, but Snell still using that visor, goes up against the Transcendence, not going to be able to break through anything. They're all inside that small mini health pack room. With Rat hacked, there's not much that they can do besides just go after the soldier stuck on top of that high ground who falls down. There's not much that they can do, nor are they choosing that they want to kind of fight on that first point. I think once you kind of lose it, you lose it. There's no reason to stall it unless you can 100% win it.
I really liked the positioning from Celestial there, as they, had to deal with that Snarl ultimate. The Transcendence was able to help them get into the Mega, and everybody was positioned in a way that Snarl really wasn't able to get any value out of his attack visor. So really good stuff from Celestial, and now you're gonna be going up against Derpy's EMP and a whole bunch of other ultimates. Now that I look at it, 5 ultimates on the side of Kracked Katz.
They didn't have the opportunity to use it before, so hey, at least they get it now. This is just one big rotation and setup coming out of the side of the sky. Those might slightly get canceled from Katz as they get stunned. The pulse bomb is going to be able to take out Deco. The Transcendence really only saving yourself while that bomb gets thrown. Finds Rat. The poor soul was just trying to escape, but sent back into the sewers to train the turtles. The rest of the team are going to be able to start getting these sticks. That second one now being captured. They place those mines stuck onto the high ground. Cassidy's going to walk into it, not going to be able to survive, though the respawns being in their favor, and especially these first initial picks, it's looking good. However, there is still those trades. The one being on top of this point and being able to help as much as they can is critical. Getting these picks, that EMP, absolutely massive. And it seems that Z-Fan is going to be able to go after Deco, finish them off. It's a little too late because Cassidy comes in. It's going to high noon ya, and you're going to be sent back to your spawn room, but still not a bad push. 91.9%.
Oh, not a bad push whatsoever. I would even say it was a fantastic push given the ultimate bank kind of like disparity they had going into it. It just goes to show you that, using more ultimates isn't always, the option. Using your ultimates more effectively, I think, really kept them in that fight for a long time. But unfortunately, it was just a few critical pickoffs from Critical, actually. Now that I say that. Few key pickoffs from Critical was able to help them secure that team fight and help them, not have the third point be picked. But Snell is down on the Cassidy, and the Transcendence coming out. They really want to finish this off.
Yep, they're going early in. They managed to force out that really big ultimate, and this is where Critical is gonna counter out by moving in with the same ability. They managed to finish out Cinemo on PG, and now the rest of the team don't really have a support line, so they make the sensible idea and just let themselves die. They just reset, throw themselves back. At least now they have less to worry about, but those ultimates are still very much alive.
Yeah, man, Crackcast didn't really even have to invest anything themselves to begin with either. Mines and EMP are both coming up for the side of Celestial as well, so they are going to be able to engage here as well. It looks like they don't want to make this rotation this time around. They're going to just try to run down the middle and hope that they don't get dead-eyed or bombed or mined. Actually, no, they are going to make the rotation.
They make a very nice one, I think. Both of the team is entirely split, so you really have to kind of focus on who you want to take. And Critical is being kind of the recipient of that. Eventually, Rat is too. Not going to be able to be saved, gets hacked, something. You just get sent to the Shadow Realm. That's what I'd like to believe, the Doom Dimension. But now this fight's taken on top of the high ground. They hit that EMP onto Critical, losing out their shield, and eventually down. The rally's not enough to save, but Snell and Deco are still dangerous threats on their own, able to bring back that fight after so many ultimates were used.
Yes, that Deadeye that comes in, sort of the flank Deadeye. All of these attacks have been so good and so coordinated on the side of Celestial. And that one almost got close to the 91% mark as well. But now, I mean, what do you even have to work with anymore? You do have Pulse Bomb, I guess, and Transcendence that's going to be able to counteract the mines, but that's about it. Zaffin needs to make a hero play here.
It can definitely work every which way to Sunday.
Okay,
though
that's a start.
Derpy being found out is kind of that opening you're very much looking for. We do see owners kind of splitting around, the mines being placed on top of that point. Nobody dares to touch in fear of that wrath coming out from Rat. However, they still need to make something happen. Now the respawns are no longer in their favor. Owners walks into it, gets a little bit hit, and Rat's going to be traded out in the long term, but this is still the defenders' favor. They only have less than 20 seconds just to make anything happen. Less than 15, less than 10 more than that fact. So now being forced to touch out this point, this is where Crunch Time is going to be looking to build up that EMP, putting that pressure onto the D.Va, but having the translocate, then forced to use that Transcendence just to have that touch onto the point, now slamming down, hoping to be taking out someone of those squishies on top of the high ground. But they're stuck, not being able to get out much. We see Crunch Time looking to build up, gets that EMP, but the Transcendence is there. Cinemo is going to be figured out. Same with UnPG, no longer having that support line, but we see the EMP there. It's now, though, hid out, uses that high noon, not going to be able to find much. It just seems that they aren't going to be able to kind of clean things out. They don't have the power, nor do they have the Tracer alive to be able to continue touching that point. Celestial Sky, they're going to be able to bring that close, but they're not going to be able to finish it out.
Yeah, Snowl had a lot of value on the Cassidy there. I feel like every time one of those attacks was going, somewhat the other way, it was either Snowl or Critical turning it around for their team, getting at least a few key pickoffs before, turning the tides. So, unfortunately, Celestial will not be capping the second point, but they still will be having that 91% sort of threshold that they managed to get. So you can't be too mad at that. You would have really liked to get that second point, but you almost got there.
Definitely think that they have a great opportunity. There is nothing better than not having second point and only getting those 2 ticks and so close to the third one. And I say that because, well, you're being able to have that security where you don't have to worry too much about the opponents kind of shutting you down or being able to defeat you. You have a sizable condition. 2 CP is difficult, and as long as you stop them from capping kind of the second point on those 2 ticks, you can win. It's much better than only capping first point and having a draw scenario as your last possible opportunity. Though, have to see how they try. You saw how they went first. How are they going to go now?
Well, it really depends on what Kracked Katz comes out with here, and it looks like it's going to be the full mirror this time around. Both Tracer and Sombra coming out on both sides here. I think Crunch Time has been performing okay on the Sombra here, and his EMPs have been getting value, but just not enough. I think the rest of his team has been having trouble kind of going on with his EMPs.
Look at that. I mean, the tick is able to be captured on the point, but at what cost? You flush your entire team. The Sombra is going to be able to translocate, but compared to the ult charge, Crunch Time is getting a bit more value.
Feeling much better.
Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of funny just giving up that first tick. You're not too worried about that. As long as you keep, your ultimates up, you'll be able to start gaining them somewhat soon. Cinemo is pretty close to, Transcendence here. You've got Zaffin with the Pulse Bomb almost ready as well, and not too much until you have your first EMP, and then you can just start, ult cycling them effectively.
Yeah, they put that damage in the hat going on to Rat. Mid kind of rolling, so Rat's going to be instantly punished. That AMP now built, they can take it, but they don't look like they want to. Fighting inside this small room, using that Transcendence and Pulse Bomb. Manages to catch out both of the support lines, and eventually, well, the Hillen's not going to be having much inside their own bank to help them.
Yeah, I wonder who Rat was actually going after when he went onto that engagement on that first point, but, hacked and discorded, so he's not going to be able to get much value out of that. He's only 57% to mines, by the way, while Owners is a comfortable 80%. And what's even better is that Crunch Time now has this EMP, so looking at them. But look at this little flank coming from the side of, well, I say that, and then they just get EMP'd and the rest of their team dies.
Yep, nothing you can do against that. No armor, nothing to protect you. That slam just insta-kills, and now the rest of the team stuck in the back line trying to make something happen. Well, they're caught off. They are going to be looking to stay split solely just so they can have a chance, but Cats don't have much room.
Yeah, Transcendence here will be able to help you out with the potential mines that are on the enemy side as well. But you're going to have to fight against a rally as well. They drop the mine so early, Transcendence comes out, and Derpy gets caught out.
Yep, Snell's Pulse Bomb does manage to get eaten, so the pressure is now being put onto Cinema, though the rally is going to be doing a perfect job of keeping them up. The hack hitting onto Geeko forces them to drop critical, not going to be having anyone to peel, and those who are trying to escape accidentally walk into the mines. This is becoming a very close call as we see Geeko being poked out. They're more of saving their ultimates, trying to bait out as much as they can, but they're going to have to try a little harder.
They're getting chased into defender spawn, dude. They're they're trying to go for these flank plays. Rat and Snowl are, but the rest of the team, the enemy team, is just converging on their backline because of the lack of support. Actually, Critical switches over to the Baptiste here. I think they just want to stay alive. They don't want to get dived on anymore. And Rat almost gets caught out. He has to use the mines. Okay, he will be able to get out though.
Still a really good mind, so nobody's going to be able to take in that room, though you're going to be losing it during the mid-fight. We see them kind of just look out. This EMP, Derpy was waiting to use it, but wasn't set up properly. That bomb out, finish on Derpy and Deco! Oh no, they need those ultimates, they need those abilities. The rally was canceled midway, though that bomb is there. PG is going to be able to place that shield, take them out, and now they're going to be looking to just save themselves up so they can try to touch. Owners does get traded, but Criticals is now gone. You don't have that Baptiste to be able to sustain you for a while. Now the rest of them slowly just peel off. MP managing to hit out the hill, and Rat coming in looking to make any difference, but it just doesn't catch anyone. And Cinemo comes in with the Transcendence to be more than enough to be able to long-term sustain them. It just seems no matter what Katz do, they are being neutered, not going to be able to do anything as Creep eats that pulse bomb, making sure there are no last seconds played. And, well, I guess Celestial Sky, they're going to be moving further and further as they get the match point already 2-0 right on the Sky Industries.
Yeah, that was, Creep, I think the MVP of that last couple rounds right there. He eats 2 pulse bombs in a row and then gets a bomb that goes right into the middle of the enemy team as they're trying to regroup. They finally have enough members to push onto point A. They must be so excited. Nope, Diva Bomb right down the middle of the lane, and I think it catches out the Sombra.
It does.
I know, and even for the members that it doesn't catch out, it displaces them and allows for Celestial then to converge on the rest of the team. But, pretty good play from Creep there as well, and the rest of the members of Celestial. So now we are 1-1 in this series.
I absolutely loved everything they were able to do. Just the fact that the Celestial Sky is more of what I'm talking about. Being able to just rotate around each other, trade in those ults. I was really scared when they used those Transcendences at times, because when you don't have that ability to go up against the EMP, it means that you will lose the fight. However, Derpy and Snow never able to find those opportunities, not only to set up the EMP, but then follow up on it as DPS duos, truly showed that Celestial Skies were able to play around it, able to get an advantage off of it, and, well, now they're going to be allowed to ban Rialto. And another good map just gone from the pool, just spat out.
Yeah, neither of these teams likes Escort, apparently. We will not be having an Escort map this series, unfortunately, user. You can go cry in the corner now if you want.
We've still got one more. We've still got one more. Of course we do, all right? All right, I don't want you to fact check me, all right? You're not allowed to.
Hold on, I'm going to fact
check.
It.
Okay, listen, we don't.
Real quick. Hold on.
Okay, we don't. Listen, don't you do it. We don't. We're out. We are out. Okay? No, call refuse. Yes, I promise. I got a screenshot of everything, all right?
Okay.
Gotta call him in the next room over. It's like when I'm sitting down playing my DS in the middle of the night. My mom comes in. I gotta hide real quick. Just.
Oh yeah, you just gotta tuck it under the pillow, right? Gotta snap it shut real quick.
And I've gotta say, I just want to say this. Cinemo. What is Cinemo eating? Cinnamon? Just pure cinnamon without throwing up?
He's injecting it into his veins.
You remember like 2016 or something, the cinnamon challenge, where you put like a spoonful of cinnamon in your mouth?
Yeah, I almost died.
Yeah, I never did that, but I feel like that's what Cinnamon is doing, but like without throwing up, because the Zenyatta play has been absolutely extraordinary. And if you want to show off that love, I'd recommend going down and putting in your MVP vote down in kind of the description summary. It's in a weird spot. I don't really ever know how to explain it, but either way, you'll be able to
It's
find.
like it's in like the Twitch description box where you go down and if the big streamers have like the G fuels and the I buy power computers just listed there, and and then you click on the link and then you're look at the insane prices and you're like, no way, but Jose, I like you, but I'm not gonna support you by buying a
Yeah,
whole computer.
yeah.
Sorry to say.
I mean, like, if you guys do want to support us, though, you can sub, donate.
Oh
Everything
yeah,
goes back into
true
kind of
that.
everything goes back into the production and to the prize pool. So it's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Though,
Or
kind
tier
of,
3.
oh, that's true. Tier 3 is very important.
For tier 3.
Exactly. Yep. Especially in the state Overwatch is in, we need that love and support with each other. Luckily enough, we're going to be continuing on to this series. It seems we're going over to Blizzard World, and I don't know. How good are you at like reading people's minds?
Not at all, but I can say with like 90% certainty that we're going to be seeing more Wrecking Ball. It's a wide open map. It's very, very large. There's a lot of room to traverse. It's hard to play Rush on it. Double Shield works, but Wrecking Ball wins out a lot of the times, and both of these teams are pretty comfortable running it, I would say. I think Celestial Sky definitely has a bit of a what do you call it, like momentum coming into like playing the Wrecking Ball mirror now that they've actually like had a map or two to adjust to how Kracked plays. So I think we're just gonna be seeing Wrecking Ball here.
I definitely agree. These teams they look very comfortable on it, but I think kind of the splitting point is Celestial Skies look absolutely better on it. And then it always hurts me to say one team's doing better than another. Ah, I hate it. But they just look a little bit more solid, and I think on Blizzard World, that's surely going to matter. This is another map that I think it's very common to get full held on, especially on a Wrecking Ball comp if you don't know how to break through it. So what's some insight on a possibility? Let's say we see both Wrecking Ball compositions with the Sombra. Same thing as Volskaya.
It's all about going after that back line, making sure that Zenyatta feels pressure. If the Zenyatta isn't able to properly place discords, isn't hitting shots, because they're your only real like long range damage that you have, and they're the only real way to help your team secure with the Discord orb, to help your team secure or secure kills even. So putting a lot of pressure. Although we've seen both Critical and Cinemo kind of swapping off Zenyatta to go over to the Baptiste if they feel too much pressure here. And actually, Katz, they're going to come out with the double shield here with Ashe and Tracer and a Brig Bap tank line. So very, very tanky composition, is sort of designed to counter Wrecking Ball kind of things. So it'll be interesting to see how Celestial plays this. It really just depends on what Zafin and Crunch Time are playing. I'm assuming just Tracer Sombra, in which case you're just building EMP, building Pulse Bomb, getting those large ultimates out without dying, or without wasting too much time, I should say.
I wonder how much of this is kind of going to be changing up the style of the double shield, already taking up those angles. Dehillen on one side, Rat on another. Though Crunch Time able to just move like Jagger, kind of sneak their way slowly into the enemy backline, almost like a James Bond.
Shaken, not stirred. That's the only James Bond reference I know. I'm sorry. I'm not cultured.
Look, you know what? I'll have to buy you a movie one day, especially because this fight is already taking so slow. It's a full length of a movie, 2 hours going out right now. They do look like they take over the high ground as the rest of the defending side are now split. They want to be able to protect Critical, who's hacked. They even placed that shield perfectly so Crunch Time can't get any damage in. However, Owners are still coming and slamming down, putting that damage in. Critical once again hacked. Not going to be able to place down the immortality or anything, yet is still alive. That first tick, though, manages to get found out as they're going to be able to just be way to push people off the point. This is now where they're still forced. Nobody's died yet, interesting enough, until Creep makes me look like a fool. Same with Yon and Owners. They eventually go down, just not going to be able to take that poke without taking anyone out, but at least they got a tick out of the fight.
They got almost 2 ticks there. You see just how close it came to getting the 2 ticks. It was an interesting rotation that Katz made, and it did protect their backline very effectively, unfortunately, at the cost of, you know, a tick or 2. So you can't be too mad if you're Celestial Sky there. Definitely a worth it push, and you're pretty close to some big ultimates here, but unfortunately on the side of Kracked Katz, they got some pretty big ultimates of their own, and definitely some powerful ultimates that'll allow them to hold on to this point if they use them effectively. I'm looking at Bob, I'm looking at Bongo, looking at Window.
I'm looking at
Derpy hitting his ultimates.
Yeah, I'm looking at Derpy dying and the rest of the high ground now stuck, being kind of focused out. They're eventually arguably being poked, and that Bongo now starting to split them. Bob, though, wanting to make that difference. The EMP comes out a little late, as the rest of the team are wanting to get as much value on it as possible. They start running out. Unfortunately, though, the rest of them are just gonna kind of get picked off, and they have to just move in with those mines. Celestial Sky not able to find that opening they want.
Creep's actually moved over to the Sigma of their own actually here, probably in response to that pressure coming out from Snowl on the Ash, and the EMP and Transcendence just weren't able to get much value in response to everything in the kitchen sink being thrown on the side of Kracked Katz. So now they're only going to have mines to work with here, which actually could be good if they manage to pick off like Deco before he pops his rally.
Hey, I can definitely see something like that coming out. We're already looking at them kind of make an opportunity. They take this rotation. They really just want to go after that high ground. They're hungry for it. They need it. While we see owners just kind of look around for anybody that can get hit with the mines, eventually just deciding to kind of split them up. Unfortunately, UnPG gets hit with the pulse bomb, isn't going to be able to live. Rat finally goes down, was able to survive for a wicked amount of time, actually first death. But the Gravitic Flux now comes in, finding out Creep, though they were able to cancel it out. Critical is the one who is a true threat, able to get that 2K and help Deco kind of clean things up. The pulse bomb just barely misses, and Critical, my goodness, what do you eat?
Definitely not Cinnamon. You know, that's Cinemo's job to have the corner market on that. Not Critical's able to get those picks relatively uncontested because of the lack of healing. UnPG went down really early due to the pulse bomb, and now look at this, 5 seconds to go. Somebody needs to touch point, guys.
No! You managed to get a tick in almost a second, but in the end, you were your own villain, not being able to succeed on the wrecking ball. And what was going wrong? They looked great on it on Volskaya. What changes things?
Maybe they're not used to playing against it on a bunker. You know, obviously they looked great in the mirror matchup, but you know, sometimes like we said at the beginning, the bunker is a little bit easier of a composition to deal with the wrecking ball comps. It's literally designed to counteract them. So they just weren't able to get much value even out of their ultimates. EMP, Transcendence were matched up against Bongo, Rally, Window, Bob even. Just too many things to count when it comes to that double shield composition.
Yeah,
and now it looks like they'll probably play it again with crunch time on the Echo, which I think is a bit better on a Blizzard world because you have a lot of open air and stuff like that. There's some corners you can hide in as well.
But it's only one tick.
Kracked has.
Yeah, but it's only
tick.
one.
Yeah, you're right.
That's 1 tick and a half, technically, if we're going by schematics. And I'm absolutely terrified. This is where Kracked Katz have been just shaping up the momentum. But, I mean, with the composition that they might be running out, that TP is only there for a teleporter.
I wonder if they get a headshot right here. Watch. Oh, wait, no. They didn't even do the teleport right. What are you doing? Okay, whatever.
Some people wake up and choose ignorance, as I'd like to say.
I'm about to choose violence right now.
Well, they definitely are after, you know, doing it wrong. They choose that. Yeah, they choose that Pharah. It's a lot of burst damage, and they're looking just to be able to take this fight extremely quickly. We see Snell and the Baptiste just kind of having to just back up, getting hit with so much poke and burst damage. Eventually, though, they leave Cinemo open as they were just trying to collapse on top, barely able to get that peel as Red is stuck inside of them. They're freely going to be able to escape and rotate all around, kind of mixing each other up. Eventually, we do see Deco and Crunch Time on opposite sides of the teams getting traded. It's now a 5v5. Any opening one pick is going to make that difference, and it seems that Derpy was the one who unfortunately gets found out. So while Snell looks to just be dived on and Critical manages to use their window to help take out Cinemo, they don't really have their full team. And yet they're still convincing themselves that they can do it. They can push forward, pushing onto that point, managing to boost around. Dylan is on that point, looking to get as many ticks as possible, and they get a free tick. Now this is where the fight comes in. They're looking confident. Critical able to take out Crunch Time. The true DPS player as Dylan finishes off Owner. And oh my goodness, they are not going to be able to bring anything in. That Transcendence a little bit more desperate than anything, saying, look, I'm Jonak, I can do this, Cinnamon, about to go Cinna nuts. However, you are Cinna dead, as we just don't see anything come out. And the Cracked Cats, they're not ready to end things out, being able to finish off on Blizzard World.
Critical went behind the point to contest where the enemy team was kind of defending on the Mega that's kind of to the left of the point. He then basically spawn camps the Echo, making sure that she's not able to get back into the fight. Yeah, I mean, Critical basically turned into a bit of a DPS player there.
Man, that's such a
pretty good.
That's such a moment that I don't think we truly ever see a Baptiste do. I think a lot of Baptistes are more focused on healing, more focused on damage, but at Critical,
Definitely a heal bot for sure.
yeah, me too. I've recently been working on it, but I'm a really bad DPS, so it doesn't work out very often. But still, I gotta say, Cracked Cats absolutely looked so much better the more that they played. I think they finally found the rhythm, and I think that double shield broke down how we saw Celestial Skies getting away with a lot. And that's how they were able to just move in and bing, bang, boom, put that in more of their favoritism.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about momentum coming out of Volskaya too. I argued that Celestial had a lot of momentum, winning in that mirror composition. But then you just throw a kind of like throw a wrench in that spanner, and then you throw in a composition that just totally negates what the enemy is trying to accomplish here. And now Kracked Cats has the momentum back, I would say. They are able to get the upper hand in the mirror right after they full hold basically on Blizzard World. And now it's time for Celestial to ban a map, and they're gonna ban Ike.
It is.
Eichenwald.
These teams are really getting rid of those kind of tough maps that I think anybody can kind of bring their strategies in, or I guess it takes a long time to play. Maybe it's a time crunch. But it seems that Temple of Anubis is the possible final map that we're going to be going on. And this is not bad. Not a bad choice, especially after full holding on Volskaya. I think if there's any map that you want to go on, this is one.
Yeah, I mean, you have more opportunities to play that double shield bunker compositions on defense especially. And then even more opportunities to play Wrecking Ball, which is, what we've seen this entire series, and a bit of opportunity for Brawl too, if you're like a sadomasochist and you just want to, and you just like enjoy pain, you can play Rush on this map, on first point. Insane people do. I can't. I cannot bring myself to play Reinhardt on this map.
You're mostly
On
talking
first
about
point.
the Overwatch
I'm mostly talking about
competitive.
first point. And on ranked, yes.
Yes.
It's a bit difficult when you're just going up against Widows and Junkrats and Echoes, and she has an ability where you press E and you just melt shields and tanks, and it's not fun. It's a lot of not fun. I have a love-hate relationship with Anubis. I respect it a lot, but I also hate it so much.
You know, I can give my love and respect to that, but I kind of want to get as we're waiting to go into the team and we are seeing Cracked Katz taking the defending side. Who has been a player that has been standing out to you?
That's true. We do have MVPs to keep up. I would say, looking at Snull, looking at Critical, I'm looking at Cinemo. Ah. And then
It's
I would
like
either it's a toss up for me between Dion and Creep. I think both of them are having really good games. I think Creep's been really good on the Diva, Dion on the Sigma as well. Might have to give the edge out to Creep. I'm not sure. Dion really impressed me though on map number 1 when he was playing Diva with that like brawl kind of rush style that they were playing on Control Point. I think he was just doing a good job on the Diva, but I think Creep might have overtaken him there. There's a lot of players.
yeah, there is a lot of players. I think we've had a lot of really good moments to shine. At least for me, more specifically, I think Snell, on PG, Cinemo, Critical, Deco, like the support lines have been absolutely great. And as much as I want to give love to both of the tank lines, I haven't been feeling any like play changers. I think it's mostly been kind of the support lines keeping everybody up to the point where everybody's able to kind of get something done. So for me, both of these support lines, absolutely insane. However, Dylan, did you know that he actually saved somebody's grandma from a burning building while doing the person's homework? He's insane.
Yeah, you
Right?
gotta respect the double task there. Really keeping your priorities straight.
Yeah. Don't know why you were looking
I
at me like that.
uh, is that true?
I'd like to believe it. That's the rumors that Twitch chat always talks about. However, we're not here for rumors. We're here to talk about the
Well,
factuals.
we know that everything that's said in Twitch chat is factually correct.
Absolutely true.
It's a given.
Yeah.
It's a given.
So, a bit more in the factual sense. This is a Bunker, not Double Shield, Bunker going up against Double Bubble. I don't know anything factual about this. This is a very unknown type of matchup.
This is a very weird matchup. Basically, you're hoping your main goal in the double bubble composition is basically just making sure that Winston doesn't die as he takes so much damage to build up your Ana Nano ultimate, which is what Cinemo's going to be trying to do on this Ana as well, and then hoping you don't get sniped out. Snell is on the Widowmaker, by the way. We all hate Widowmakers, but sometimes you got to do the devil's work to save the world, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that analogy.
You're talking to the king of analogies and words that make no sense. More than anything, we're seeing them take a long time to set up Celestial Sky. They're eventually going to be taking that dive, kind of splitting on top of the bridge. Our owners getting hit with a lot of damage. Eventually, that bubble breaks. They managed to find Deco during the kind of barrage, and that was absolutely beautiful because now this gives Crunch Time enough room to go in until Snell is able to use the Widowmaker to great effect. However, enabling the res, they're going to be able to bring this back to a 6v6, though. Owners being traded brings this to a 5v5 and then a 6v5 as they slowly return, and then a 5v5. The point is very much in a very scattered state. It seems that Derpy wants to be doing their best to try to win this out, getting that direct onto Crunching Time. Not able to finish it out though. That first tick is going to be captured onto point A. We see the rest of the squad now more using this window, trying to be bringing up as much damage as possible. However, Critical gets punished trying to do that. Derpy though getting those direct hits, starts shutting it down. Those 2 ticks don't even matter when the rest of your team is picked. They use the nano on, and we see I heard an ability used, but I don't really recognize or see anyone kind of popping it out. It was a really big nano, but I'm guessing it just kind of hit into the air. Eventually this copy gonna be landing onto the Baptiste. Hey, don't even worry about it. The barrage is there, and it's beautiful. Hitting that 2K, the Mercy managing to glide. That was a 10, not an absolutely beautiful. And now with Critical and Snell being the last people there, they did their best, but that's where they wear a mask with a smile.
Yeah, there was a lot of insanity going on as Celestial tried so desperately to cap that off, nanoing the Echo and then copying into the Baptiste. Didn't really do anything, but I think it was just the combination of Zaffin and Creep, filling up the kill feed allows them to finally get through that. You do have ultimates, however, on the side of Cracked Katz if you want to try to go into this bongo especially is just going to be so devastating unless Owners is able to jump in and quickly build up this primal, which I'm only 4% away, so is possible.
I can hear the JoJo music with that I stuff, because, you know, we're in the desert and all that. I can feel it starting to tense up. The ultimates are now... Yeah, the ultimates are most importantly stacking. We're seeing creep come up on this bomb. Owners has some primal rage. Though they are taking the rotation and they eventually lose their bubble, they're still kind of stacking themselves up, getting prepared to kind of counter against whatever we see the Cats do. This dive goes on top of the high ground, wanting to deny that, maybe find out a support. The primal rage used mid-air, but Owners immediately going down to less than half health. Derpy is able to find out crunch time as we see the bomb being a bit more inspirational, managing to isolate out. However, they have lost this ult fest, and that bomb inside the bubble forces them out. We're going to be seeing, well, Celestial Sky have to come up with a plan B if they want to be able to push forward. That was everything invested that they had, and really nothing to make up for it.
Yeah, Primal not doing too much. He gets melted even through 1,000 health and has to have the nano committed to them, where you really could have had it on somebody like Zafin or Creep or even Crunch Time to secure kills. Unfortunately, it just isn't able to get done here due to the bongo. And now you're going to be going into Barrage, not only Barrage, but also Deadeye Window as well on the side of defenders here. Copy onto the D.Va though, could potentially eat it.
What copy do you see alive? That's just a fail kind of vessel. They eventually do go back into their mech. They'll place that bomb down. Not going to be finding much, but Rat is split off. Eventually, he's going to be able to go back with the team. While Snell uses the high noon, has to cancel out of it. However, we do not see Celestial Sky getting too much room. They even try to finish off that bar of Derpy, but it sacrifices and gives up their own monkey. Now they're stuck without that engager ability, and sure, DeHillen is going to be out of their mech, but Cinemo's picked off. You're not a big disadvantage continuously moving into this fight. That Orisa somehow still alive, though Deco getting traded in that mess. We see them still pushing forward, even getting a headshot onto the Tracer.
And, I mean, Snow's just going to be sitting pretty inside this this immortality field. The Valkyrie popped, was not able to get anything done, and now they're just gonna switch. It looks like they just want to switch off of this dive, which, to be fair, isn't like the best composition to be pushing into this double shield on second point. Rush is actually going to be able to do that job a lot better, but you're giving up so much ultimate progress, and you know, now Rat's sitting on a bongo again, another window on the side of critical, and another Deadeye. You're working with a massive disadvantage at 140 left on the clock.
Yeah, they really are just kind of more focusing on this brawl to try to make things work, though that pull almost catches out Cinemo. They're able to hide away from this window on the high ground, but the high noon still going to be able to catch you out. It is so unfortunate as they are now immediately exploding like a nuclear bomb just being tapped on. Oh, but that's unfortunate. Creep's just staggered.
Yeah, he's just gonna patter around on his little baby D.Va feet, attempting, look at him run. It's so sad. But you do have a little bit of ultimates on the side of Celestial here, but only 1 minute to go, and they didn't really have to commit that much on the side of Kracked Katz in that last team fight. And what are they doing? They're just all sitting in spawn. They're just waiting for their D.Va player to respawn before they come out of spawn. They're that scared.
Yeah, they have so much to work with, already putting in an insane amount of damage as this brawl wants to be able to rotate. Celestial Skies having to move through that halt, not going to be able to get much, but Creep now split has to use so thrusters just to move out. This is now where we see the true fight commence in. The bomb being thrown midway through while the window makes that space. However, the barrage was set and takes out crunch time, though canceled midway through. The rest of the backline does not have any sort of stability, and they're just going to be picked off. That first take is the only thing they're going to be getting, as it's only 10 seconds on the clock.
10 seconds, I doubt anybody is... Oh, well, actually, I lied. There's the baby D.Va that touched it a little bit. Yeah, nobody's going to be touching this again unless Reinhardt has like a teleport ability that I didn't know about. Maybe if you press like some kind of crazy combination like up, left, down, right, center.
You didn't even do it right.
The Konami code. I didn't even do it right. I don't know it by heart.
You don't know by heart?
I'm not an 80s kid.
There is a
up, down.
I think it's like I think it's a musical, Be More Chill, where they actually say that up, down, left, right, BA, or something like that. I don't know. It's from some show. There
Was
are so many
select
shows.
in it? There was a select, I swear.
There's no
There was
there's
probably
no
something in there.
select.
Is there not a select on the?
No, wait, I think that's an Adventure Time episode, but I don't know why I'm thinking about that.
Why are you thinking about Adventure Time? I'm
I
talking
think
about
because
the
they had
Konami code.
no, because they had an episode where Finn was trapped in a video game and he did a code. And I'm pretty sure that was
Oh,
the Konami code. Like,
I don't
look,
know.
these players are not going to be able to tap in the Konami code. Do you think they know letters other than WASD?
WASD, yeah, and
All right.
QE, and then F for F.
Now, some of these players
F
have the
for
most
respect.
confusing place like buttons. Some people have it like on left control, alt, G.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
yeah, no, that's insanity.
Yeah.
That
But
that shouldn't be happening here.
going back, do you think we're going to be seeing something extremely similar with Celestial Skies being able to kind of hold before that tick is even possible?
Well, they do have the Winston composition coming out here, and it is going up against a Wrecking Ball composition, which normally is enough to get the better of Winston. If you play it right, though, I can see it potentially working out here if you're able to dive on, like, Critical or Deco in the backline, or even Snarl, who's going to be trying to set up in some position here. They're going to have a tough time to get any kind of angles here. Never mind, they're just going to catch out Genji, because why not?
And it seems that they're really just going to be learning from their mistakes, being able to take out 2 of the DPSs now. Starting to play on this point, that first tick already very successful. The rest of the team on top of the high ground, almost as if they were on the attacking side rather than the defending. Stuck as Derpy puts in so much burst damage that they struggle to move forward. Crunch Time, though, finds out Rat. They're now going to be able to play down onto the point and then back into the spawn route. Even though the rest of the DPS have returned, the ticks have been secured. They're almost about to capture this third one, and not everybody is dead.
Yeah, there were about 3 players alive, but they were just being heralded by Derpy on this Pharah. Nobody really able to contest them, and now they have a comfortable lead going into second point, where what do Celestial have? Oh, they don't have a Winston. I can tell you that much.
That's an early fight if I've ever seen one. They are just looking to try to take it. Celestial Sky needs to be making some adaptations. It seems they want to nano that Cassidy. However, the Vault basically going to be their own mini nano to allow themselves to move in. That bomb now splitting through. They managed to get those trades in. The Monkey owners able to play on the point while the Res goes on to the Diva. Able to come back, get that slam down. Net knock creeps mech down very low. However, they aren't really sitting down on the point. Going to be able to secure much. Eventually, this blade does come out and able to finish off Deco. And that's just more than enough, it seems. Though, even if they got that early fight, they're going to have to try it with 5 minutes on the clock to finish this out.
That was so close to being a capture for them as well, or even a tick, honestly. But just Anubis being Anubis and the spawn advantage being so strong. Are they going to be able to catch out Snarl here? They are. So that's definitely going to be a little bit more time off the clock, which is desperately what you need if you're Celestial right now.
Also, apparently, it's up, down, left, right, BA, start. Alright, so don't even worry about it because those are the codes that they're hacking in.
With chat's got our backs.
Yeah, they're trying to get some opening, using that code just to be able to open things up, and it seems that's exactly what they needed, being able to find 3 massive picks extremely early, and with the Wrecking Ball moving on to the point, using those mines possibly extremely early. We are going to be seeing owners and the Genjis start going on to the point. They give up that first take, and we know they can't even touch! The Monkey misses the jump, and Kracked Katz! We're going to a map 5!
Is it 3-1? Or is it 2-2? Did I lose track of the score?
Are you okay?
I thought that was the end of the series, actually. It is, isn't it? They're all saying GG.
Wait. No, now you're confusing me. Now you're confusing
the end of the series,
me.
Right?
No.
It was 2-1 going into this, right?
I guess I've gone insane.
Yeah, I think no, it was 2-2. It was 2-1 on the side of Kracked Katz going into this series. They won this map. Now it's 3-1. You're good. I was so confused. I was like, what?
No, I don't know why I thought 2-2. I think it's just because these players were going so back and forth. I really just wanted a map 5.
You're right. You're right. It was very back and forth at the beginning of this series. I will say. And then I think these last 2 maps, Kracked Katz kind of just started getting cracked again. They started
Yeah,
getting the K back in their
I gotta
system.
say, I'm a little sad now. I think I just really wanted a map fight. I really liked watching
Ah.
both of these teams play. They were very much kind of going back and forth. Cracked Cats, though, they were able to finish it out in the end, though I tried to hype up Celestial Sky as much as possible. They'll have to hype themselves up as they're going to be leaving this series. But don't go away just yet! I want you to make those quick votes down in the EMP before Refuse shuts them off. Make your pick. Who are we choosing?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think Celestial Sky played pretty well, all things considering. I think a couple of their players like Cinemo and Crunch Time and Creep really did pop off. Unfortunately, you're going up against some cracked cat. I'm sorry to say, like I think you just got name diffed there, unfortunately.
Name diff. I mean, all it takes is one bad day, and then that name could be used for evil. I feel like that's with any name though. Celestial Skies, you just make a Seven Deadly Sins reference. Say like, oh, just like the show, your career is over. Ooh, like you hit that awkward dab or something, like most people do. Maybe you
Yeah.
make a game theory episode on it. Either
Well,
way,
it would be a film theory reference,
oh,
right? Because
you're
it's a
right.
show, it's an anime.
Yeah, you're
They
right.
probably, on knowing film theory, they've probably done an episode on Seven Deadly Sins by now.
I can see it. They made episodes on YouTube on game theory, so it's a lot of different ideas. Either way, we are going to be bringing in the MVP in a second. And honestly, I've got to say, the MVP player has been one of the hottest people I've ever seen. Saving buildings after buildings. May have not been one of the players who have shown up, but have been a player who you guys have voted for. Dylan, how are you doing today as you are our MVP?
Doing good, doing good. All right, Dion. We got a couple of questions here. And, well, I say that. User, what is the first question? I'll pass the mic to you.
Well, the first question is, I wanted to ask that you guys just won, obviously, in the losers final. You'll now be going up against one of a collegiate team, actually, but more specifically, as I grab up the name just to remember, you're gonna be going up against University of St. Thomas next time. How does that make you feel, knowing that you've already got a next opponent, even though you're just barely in the losers bracket? It's kind of in a last fight stasis.
Feels good. We'll be able to definitely prep for them when it comes to the game.
Heck yeah, I love to hear that. I love to hear the prep. I'm glad you guys aren't just a group of people that just wake up one day and decide, oh, we're gonna play Overwatch, uh, just cause. And I want to ask you, Dion. There's a lot of chatter in the chat about you, just being this incredible superhero, like a real life superhero, saving lives, doing
Yeah.
homework. Um, is what? What's your origin story?
Um,
Um, Origin story, basically, I just play Overwatch, came to PC in 2018. I've been in the scene basically as soon as I came onto PC and made many friends, and yeah, that's basically it.
I
Love.
respect that. And you
I'm gonna be super glad to see the Marvel movie about that pretty soon.
based on your children.
What the
uh,
heck?
yeah. Final question, at least for me. Obviously, you guys have a lot to work on, and I think today got to show that you guys do very well, and you guys have only been continuing to do better the further you guys go into the series. So, is there a team? Let's say that you managed to push forward, you're managing to go far into the series. What team are you dreading kind of possibly going up against if you make it not only back to the winners bracket, but those who are still in the losers?
Um, I definitely want to go up against one of the top four teams currently in winners round three. I think that all four of them are very good, and I definitely want to go up against one of them. Maybe a rematch on Best Buds.
Yeah, all right. I mean, well, you'll definitely. I say you are in the lower bracket, so eventually one of them will come down to you eventually if you continue to make your way through. Just one final thing. Do you want to give any shout outs, any people that you want to give a little love to while you have the microphone before we sign off for the day?
I definitely want to shout out my team. Shout out Echo Force, our coach. He's been prepping us definitely for this tournament. And also shout out to our uh, other flex support, Wojtek. He's been keeping our mentals in check throughout this entire match.
All right. Well, glad to hear it. Well, Dion, thank you very much for coming into the caster's booth with us. You are free to leave, and good luck on the rest of your tournament run.
Thank you.
And that's gonna be it for us tonight, user. Man,
Yeah.
you know, you said you really wanted a map number 5. I get that. I definitely was having a lot of fun watching this series. I really did think Celestial Sky had an opportunity to make a comeback or two, but I don't know, they just got boomed on Anubis. I feel like with trying to make their monkey composition work. I feel like if they had made a couple of adjustments, they could have easily come back into this.
Yeah, I mean, I could sit there, pull up the VOD, try to hard think with my eyes open of what could have happened, but either way, I'm absolutely glad I got to be someone who was able to watch it. I think this was absolutely an insane match, and I definitely want to give all my love to Celestial Sky, who are going home, but Kracked Katz, who are going more deeper into the series. But you are right. This is it for today. However, if you're interested on everything that just happened, I'd recommend you hit that little heart. That'll make sure you're followed. Hit that little bell. That'll make sure you're getting notified. Here at kind of Star Esports Live, we make sure to bring you the best quality content as possible when it comes to the All-Star Brawl. So giving a bit of love by following us on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, just be able to keep up with the date with the VODs, even join the Discord channel just to be able to see and interact with the community means wonders. Either way, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I'm username_Intel, here joined by Rudy TG and Refused, who has been hosting this since the beginning, and we can't wait to see you next time.